video is for you if you are feeling lost, maybe a little lost, or perhaps even a lot lost. And really, what I want to share with you is how to find your way back home and really take you deeper into what home really is. Oftentimes, what I found is in looking for where to belong or how to belong or trying to accomplish this sense of home, I actually left home. And that subtle distinction, the distinction between actually being home, the eternal home right here, right now, being present and alive to everything that's unfolding right here in this moment, rather than chasing after an idea, perhaps, that my mind has for what a home is supposed to be. And the thing is, it's in this chasing that I feel I lose being. And truthfully, the only real thing is the moment itself. Now, it is a place of arrival, and believe me, facing lots of trials, tribulation, heartaches, breaking of the ego-mind complex. It takes a lot to come back home sometimes, especially in a world where we are programmed to really not be in tune with our own inner compass, to our higher knowing, to our sense of who we truly are. And really, without that, you'll always feel lost. I've always felt lost until I was able to really tune into my awareness and find that place, really connect to my own spirit, to my soul, and to really life itself, that I was able to come home. So if you're afraid, or if you feel really lost, or if things are just not working out for you, just remember that there is a plan for you, a plan that is beyond your wildest imagination. And in all that searching, you're actually on the path home to yourself. And it's something that, whether you're conscious of it or not, is still occurring. Now you can become conscious of what's actually happening and find yourself as a conscious navigator of the experiences that are occurring for you, and find a way to ground yourself within your own being. So one of the ways that I found that's really resonant with me and that works well for me, and perhaps it'll work for you, is finding ways to connect with something greater than myself, beyond myself. And I don't really ascribe to any religion or anything like that, but for me, I'm an explorer of life, and as life is unfolding around me, I've always tried to find and separate out perhaps even the experiences from who I truly am and what spirit is calling me to be. And in this moment, I feel called to share this message with you guys, so thought I would record this. Maybe it'll find you and it'll give you hope. I just want to say that if you keep believing that there is a place, that there is a feeling, that there is an inner knowing, that there is a plan for your life, just like a seed. The seed, its natural state is to become a tree. Similarly, the natural state of a human is to actually flourish and actually spend our lives in creativity and in channeling our divine essence. You're not really meant to be suffering or be lost all the time. And what happens is we do feel the suffering and we do feel lost because we don't recognize perhaps that what our true nature is. So like a seed, if you plant it and you put water and you give it sunshine, it will become a tree. I mean, that is its natural destiny. It'll never be a human, right? Just like that, it is our natural state to become conscious of who we truly are. And yes, we're going to have lots of confusion along the way. That's just part of our evolutionary process. But our destiny is to embrace our divine nature, to embrace the spirit within that is freely available every moment to each of us. And the things that get in our way is perhaps even, I can best describe it as ourselves, our idea of what something has to be, like the idea of finding home. It's just an idea. It's not home. It's not home. And so there is a difference between living in the idea of something and then actually being the embodiment of something. And it's subtle. It can be confusing if you're not aware of that occurring for you. Most of the time, most of us live our lives in imagination, in these stories that we concoct for ourselves, whatever the stories are. It looks different for different people. For me, like you look at me and what you're seeing is a woman, and I also work as a physician, an emergency medicine physician, and I'm also a daughter. And so those are identities that I have formed, that my mind has formed and latches onto. And of course, all of my other attachments. And you probably have so many of them too. And that's just an idea, an identity. That's happening in the mind. It's entirely different than the present moment. Present moment. That which is real, right, is what's right here, right now. You listening to me, that's real, that's occurring now. Now, how you experience me is going to be filtered through your own creative process. And that creativity does get funneled through the mind. And most of us, who we believe we are, is what our minds are telling us who we are. And it does include our very existence, right? It's like, it includes our sense of self, what we do for work, how we relate to each other. It's very, very tricky. But if you really take the time to explore some of these concepts in your awareness, with your awareness, you will inevitably come home. You'll recognize your own deception, manipulations, traps. And it's a lot of work. It takes perseverance. And yes, there is this jump. There is fate that's involved. And if you're listening to this video, it means that you at least have some curiosity. And perhaps you're already home. Anyways, so this is the message that's coming through today, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, that you are the light. And then if you continue to believe and to shut out what you've actually been taught by everyone and everything else and start listening to your own soul. And to do that, really, you have to find a way to quieten the mind. And of course, meditation is one way. Lots of people do it, but It doesn't have to be that. It can also be, maybe for you, it's just like taking a run. You clear your head, or you go for a swim, or intense physical activity, whatever that is for you in that moment when there's nothing but just you and pure existence. That's home. That's home. And the thing is, that's something that can be cultivated. It's something that is a doorway for you. So life is always nudging us, giving us all these different opportunities. And most of the time, we're so busy and so distracted, we forget to listen. So if you can take some inspiration from me, or from your environment, or from your experiences, and you eventually come to a place to recognize that all that running, all that movement, you're doing all of that to find that place of pure contentment, of pure bliss, and of pure joy. That's your home. That's divinity in physical form. And that place is calling out to you. It always has, and it always will, and it'll never be lost. And even if you feel lost, and keep on being you, keep on believing, and find ways to continuously connect with that inner knowing. You have to nourish that knowing, and you have to really nourish that flame within you. And one day you will arrive.